Hello, friends. Welcome to the Christ Clock YouTube channel. We are going to be discussing today the 2 hour time loop and how to benefit for your health, for your finances, and for your relationships. And we'll just start off here with a quote from Nikola Tesla. If you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, vibration, and frequency. So first of all, let's talk about the basis of reality. And so most people like to say, matter isn't real, everything is really just energy. But what is energy, right? Prana, okay? Prana is the life that throbs in everything. It is the cosmic vibration, it is frequency, it is sound. And from prana, we've observed that it can be condensed into what is called ether, which is spirit. And from spirit, we have the manifestation of the four elements that we can perceive in our physical reality, like air, fire, earth, and water. Okay? And these qualities each have their own unique properties. And we're going to take a look today at how those play out in a 2 hour time loop so that we can benefit and we can align ourselves. And some of you are wondering, why is this called the Christ clock? And this is a really important concept to understand. When Jesus was crucified on the cross 2,000 years ago, he had his left hand, his right hand nailed to the cross. He had his 2 feet nailed to the cross, and he was also pierced in the side, into the heart, in fact. And so when we look at these 5 base units, we have spirit, air, fire, earth, and water. So 5 things. These are actually a symbolism and a representation of what Christ did in his reign over the material world. He was crucified and then resurrected. And these, symbolisms are important to understand because it helps us see what he did. And so here we have the 5-pointed star. This is called the pentagram, and how it kind of lines up with the cross. If you imagine, you have Jesus's body, his head and his 2 arms and his legs on the cross. And these are kind of how these symbols are integrated. And so what we have are called tattvas, okay? These are each elemental vibrations that we can observe and we can tune ourselves in with. And so we've got spirit on top, which is reigning over the material, if you will. And our upright star, which represents spirit reigning over the subjects, our air, earth, fire, and water. This is what we want, right? We have our 5-pointed star, and this is what we want. We have our air, fire, earth, and water subjects. Some of you are familiar with the Church of Satan. If you look it up online, you'll see that the Church of Satan has also a 5-pointed star, and it's got a little goat head in it, and you'll see it's actually inverted. And so many people have an association with the pentagram or the blazing 5-pointed star with being associated with evil and the occult. But in fact, it's when people try to have the material elements or the physical appearance reign over spirit, which is the defiance of spirit and the divine order. And in fact, potentially even the defiance of Christ himself. Okay, and so we have to remember that spirit always reigns above matter, and we're going to go into the 2 hour cycle of how this actually plays out so we can align ourselves. And this is something that's been useful for me in the last few months, and we're going to go into it and how to make it really simple and easy for you to do, okay? 5 elements. We have spirit, air, fire, earth, and water. Each of them start at sunrise in your local location. And so we have the sun, we have the earth, and we have the moon. All of these are interconnected, right? Everything is interconnected. And at sunrise, wherever you're living, let's say if you're in Toronto like me and it's sunrise is at about 7:46 a.m., that at first 24 minutes, spirit starts, okay? Spirit is also called Akasha. That is the Hindu word for it. And in this first 24 minutes, everything you do will fail, okay? This is the reign of spirit. The only thing that is really important to do during this time is meditate and pray. Just pray a lot. If you have to work, be really careful because injuries are likely, errors are likely. Anything that starts during this period will inevitably fail. Even if it looks like you did something correctly during this period, it won't work out. And so this is a great time for meditation, prayer, whatever floats your boat. Just don't do anything important. And if you have to work, if you work like a shift job or you're doing something, make sure that you are not, you're doing anything important. Next, we have air, okay? This is represented by intellectual work, okay? Air is fast moving. You'll notice you'll have a higher frequency of thoughts has been my observation. And this is the best time for studying, okay? Writing, learning. A lot of the research of this presentation was done during intellect. And you'll also see, if you go outside, you'll see more planes in the sky during this time. There's a lot more air travel increase. And if you have some anxiety or depression, like I did, in the psych ward a few times, or a couple times rather, you'll notice that because the thoughts are faster, you could have higher, instability mentally. And so this is a really good stage for intellect, but also you want to make sure that you are regulating that and staying grounded. Next, we have fire, okay? This is when essentially the element of fire is active in our reality, okay? You'll notice that your experience of heat in your body will be a little bit higher. You can take a cold shower and you won't get sick. This is the best time to work intensely, okay? Do anything that is physically active. If you like to go to the gym, lift weights during this time. If you are working on a project, this is the best time to focus. And the key thing with here is avoid conflict and delicate social interactions. Ideally, you're not really socializing at all during fire, but if you have to, be very careful because arguments can be really intense. In some studies as well, they've shown that people who get married during this time will constantly be arguing throughout the entire course of the marriage. And so you don't really want to do anything important during this time as far as social interactions, but it is a great time for working, building things, typing a project that you're doing. Anything that is really intense and focused is best during this time. And then we have earth. This is the element that, our bodies are made, organic matter, carbon, that sort of thing. And this is the best time for success. So as I'm recording this right now is actually during Earth for my situation. This is the ideal time for eating, for drinking. If you want good health, drink your water and eat your food only during this period. You will find that your digestion's great, your energy is great. And any social activities are really good during this time. Any kind of business meetings, if you're going on a date, if you're in love with a woman, if you want to, I don't know, anything you do during this time will go very well. This is about love, charity, and benevolence. And then our fifth element is water, okay? And water is a really interesting element because it is the closest substance that we can perceive that is most similar to God or the light of the Creator, okay? And so during water, it's a really unique time for buying goods and concentrating and attracting, okay? Whatever you want to bring into your conscious reality, you want to concentrate it during when this is active, and it takes time, and I'm still learning myself, but if you can concentrate, you'll find that you can attract certain things into your life. You'll also notice that you can go to the washroom more often. I notice that if I am drinking water in the earth phase, which is immediately prior, but if you can find a way you'll notice that sometimes you'll have more digestion and all that sort of thing. And so buying goods, buying lottery tickets, or anything that is related to buying things, selling things, transacting is great during water. Okay, and last but not least, this is your challenge. So when I found out about this is like totally crazy esoteric knowledge. I have, it's kind of crazy. The way I started was specifically with the earth element, because the other stuff is like, intellectual work during this time. It's very complicated. what I recommend if you're getting started is in the next 24 hours, try eating and drinking only during the Earth period, okay? We've actually developed an app that you can open on your desktop, on your phone, whatever you're using, and it will automatically find your location and it'll calculate your sunrise. It'll tell you when all your periods and your phases are. So there's no math required. Go download the app, check it out, and try just eating and drinking during the Earth phase. Let me know how it goes. And remember, we are strong, we are prosperous, and we are full of luck and harmony. Om, om, om. Peace be with you. Links below for sources and things that are useful to study. Thanks to the Gnostic Association as well for sharing this information with myself and spreading the good word to the rest of you.